Today, I'm going to show you 5 signs God uses to tell you to walk away. Not signs you have to guess at. Not feelings you have to interpret. Clear, biblical patterns that appear when God is closing a door. And if you recognize even one of these in your relationship right now, I need you to pay very close attention. Because the pain of walking away is nothing compared to the devastation of staying too long. The first sign is the one most men feel but learn to ignore. Your peace is gone. Not just occasionally, constantly. There's a weight in your chest that wasn't there before. An anxiety that follows you even when things are good between you. You find yourself rehearsing conversations before you have them, walking on eggshells, monitoring her mood before you speak. You've forgotten what it feels like to just breathe. Here's what Scripture says about this. Colossians 3:15 says, "Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts." That word, rule, in the original Greek is prabu. It means to act as an umpire, to make the call. Peace is supposed to be your referee, telling you what's safe and what's out of bounds. When God is in something, there's peace even in difficulty. You can have hard conversations and still feel settled. You can face challenges and still sleep at night. But when God is not in something, peace doesn't just decrease. It disappears. Think about Jonah when he ran from God's calling. There was a storm. Not just outside, but inside. No peace on that ship. No peace in his sleep. His lack of peace was God screaming, "You are going the wrong way." So ask yourself honestly, when was the last time you felt peace with her? Not excitement, not attraction, not hope that things will change, actual peace. If you can't remember, that's not a feeling to push through. That's an umpire making a call. And you're ignoring the whistle. The second sign often comes through the people you trust most. Your mother hesitates before asking how things are going. Your best friend has stopped bringing her up. Your pastor looks at you with that expression that says more than words ever could. The people who love you, who know you, who have watched you grow, they all see something you refuse to see. But here's what you tell yourself. They don't know her like I do. They don't understand. Proverbs 12:15 says, "The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but a wise man listens to advice." And Proverbs 11:14, "In an abundance of counselors there is safety." God rarely gives you a sign that only you can see. He confirms his direction through community, through people who aren't blinded by attraction or history or the fear of being alone. Look at Samson. Before Delilah, before the haircut, before the blindness, his own parents begged him not to pursue a Philistine woman. Judges 14 records his father asking, "Is there no woman among your own people?" Samson's answer? "Get her for me, for she is right in my eyes," right in his eyes. Not in God's, not in his parents', just his own. And we know how that story ended. Blind, enslaved, grinding grain in a prison because he refused to hear what everyone around him was saying. How many people have to say it before you'll believe it? If the people who love you most, who have no reason to lie, who gain nothing from your breakup, if they're all quietly concerned, that's not coincidence. That's confirmation. God is using their eyes because yours have been compromised. The third sign is one of the most painful to admit. You've changed, and not for the better. The confidence you used to carry is gone. The joy that used to come naturally now feels forced. The man your friends knew, the man your family raised, he's been slowly disappearing. And in his place is someone anxious, apologetic, smaller. You make excuses you never would have made before. You tolerate treatment you once said you'd never accept. You've lowered your standards so many times that you've forgotten where they started. But that's not love. That's erosion. 2 Corinthians 3:18 says that when we're in God's will, we're being transformed into His image, from glory to glory. That means growth, becoming more of who God created you to be, not less. A relationship from God will challenge you to become better. It will call out your potential, not crush it. It will sharpen you, not sand you down until there's nothing left. Solomon was the wisest man who ever lived. God appeared to him twice. He built the temple. He wrote Proverbs and Ecclesiastes. But 1 Kings 11 says his foreign wives turned his heart away. The man who wrote about wisdom spent his final years building altars to Molech and Ashtoreth. He didn't fall overnight. He eroded slowly, one compromise at a time, until the man who started with God ended up unrecognizable. Look at who you were before her. Now look at who you've become. If the transformation has been downward, if you're less confident, less joyful, less connected to God, less yourself, that's not sanctification. That's destruction wearing a disguise. And God is showing you through your own reflection that this is not the path. The fourth sign is one we often misinterpret. Everything is hard. Not the normal hard of building something real, but the impossible hard of forcing something that doesn't fit. Every step forward takes 3 steps back. Every time you think you've turned a corner, another wall appears. Schedules never align. Conversations always derail. Plans fall apart, and you've been telling yourself this is spiritual warfare. This is the enemy trying to stop something beautiful. But what if it's not warfare? What if it's protection? Sometimes God closes doors by locking them. And we stand there, pounding until our fists bleed, demanding He open what He's intentionally shut. Acts 16 tells us Paul and his companions tried to enter Bithynia, but the Spirit of Jesus would not allow them. The text doesn't say the enemy blocked them. The Spirit did, because God had something better, a vision of Macedonia that would change the course of history. Here's the pattern. When God is opening a door, it might be challenging, but there's forward movement. Grace appears, help shows up. Things align even when they're difficult. But when God is closing the door, it's like pushing against concrete. Every inch costs too much, and you end up further back than where you started. Think about your relationship. Are you building, or are you just surviving? If every conversation is damage control, if you spend more energy keeping it together than actually enjoying each other, if the door keeps slamming shut no matter how hard you push, stop blaming the enemy. Maybe God is the one holding it closed. And He's waiting for you to finally stop pushing and trust Him. The fifth sign is the one that will haunt you if you ignore it. God already told you. Maybe it was during prayer and you felt that conviction so strong you changed the subject. Maybe it was a verse that jumped off the page and you told yourself it was about something else. Maybe it was a moment of complete clarity, that small voice saying, "This is not for you," and you buried it under 100 rationalizations. You know, somewhere deep inside, past the hope, past the fear, past the investment, you know? And you've been running from that knowing ever since. This is exactly what happened to Balaam. In Numbers 22, God told Balaam clearly, "Do not go with them." It couldn't have been more direct, but Balaam wanted to go. The money was good, the prestige was tempting. So he asked God again, hoping for a different answer. And when God let him go, Balaam mistook permission for blessing. The donkey saw the angel with the sword. Balaam didn't because he didn't want to. He was so determined to go his own way that he missed the obvious. He beat the animal forward, blind to the blade in his path. How many times has God put an angel in your path? A warning you explained away, a conviction you numbed, a clear word you pretended was unclear because the truth was too painful. Here's the hardest truth in this video. God doesn't usually repeat Himself forever. He speaks, He confirms, he waits. And if you keep ignoring him, eventually he lets you have what you want. Not because it's his best, but because he honors your free will, and that yes after 100 no's is not a blessing. It's a consequence waiting to unfold. 5 signs. Your peace is gone. Everyone around you sees it. You're becoming someone you don't recognize. The door keeps closing, and God already told you. Maybe you watched this and felt relief because now you have permission to do what you knew you needed to do. Maybe you watched this and felt resistance because you're not ready to let go. Either way, you can't unhear this. Walking away from someone you love is one of the hardest things you'll ever do. But staying in something God has told you to leave? That's not faith. That's fear dressed up as commitment. And it leads to the bench, the regret, the wondering why you didn't listen when you had the chance. God is not trying to take something from you. He's trying to protect you for something. The right person won't require you to silence the spirit. The right relationship won't make everyone who loves you worried. The right path won't cost you your peace, your identity, and your connection to God. If He's telling you to walk away, it's because He's walking you towards something better. Something you can't see yet. Someone who's being prepared for you while you're being prepared for them. Trust Him, even when it breaks your heart.